So you're here for the Thrilling Adventure Hour.
Yes.
Promoting it.
Yes.
For folks who are not familiar with what that is, explain it.
The Thrilling Adventure Hour is a podcast, and it's done like an old-timey radio show. So we have like our Western segment, and then we have kind of our clairvoyant ghost type segment, and then we have like a time-traveling thing. And it's all... it's old-timey in the sense that we stand with our mics and we do this live show and we all dress up in kind of 1940s, 1950s costumes, but it's very tongue-in-cheek. Like, it's really cute, and of course, like, our clairvoyants are like alcoholics, and it's super funny. And I'm part of the Western segment. I play Pimley Stalwark, who is actually a parody of Katniss Everdeen. She survived the punishment soccer, and now she is wanting to be a marshal on Mars. So she is filled with bloodlust, so she's very angry, and she's from the South, so she's very Southern. Not from the South, actually, she's from the moon. But for me, I'm like, you know, we're just going to call the moon the South, you know, kind of like a Boondocks area. She's brilliant. She's, you know, hair trigger.
How did this come about?
Nathan does the show, and he invited me to see one. This was probably 4 years ago. And I remember sitting in the audience being like, oh, all right, okay. Oh, people are laughing. Okay, there's something, I'm using something. And then I went backstage to see him, and I saw everybody, and everyone was having such a great time. And I had forgotten about that, you know, behind the curtain experience. It had been so long since I'd done theater. And I met Acker and Blacker, and they came up with, it was really just supposed to be a one episode thing, kind of a fun little thing for Nathan and I to do together, because he plays Cactoid Jim in our Western segment, named Pimley Stalwark. And I came in, and it was so much fun. And I think, especially as I got older and they allowed me to do more, I really started to get the humor. You know, it takes a little time, and now I think it's, you know, the funniest thing on the face of the planet. It's like a club, you know, and you want to be in this club. And for a while, like this last year, I was doing every show, and when they kind of stopped the run to, you know, introduce some new characters, they're like, you'll be back, but, you know, we're going to stop it for a little bit. It was like withdrawal. Like, I would sit there on Saturday nights, you know, and I'd text everybody. I'd be like, hey, how's it going? Does you need me to bring anything? Some, you know, pizza? You know, no, we're good, you know, back off.
Nathan was here yesterday when we were talking about the castle finale. First, I want to ask, what was your reaction when you read that final scene?
Oh my God. I mean, it's the last thing I expected them to do. I mean, that was my reaction. It was blown back. It put me to my knees. I remember, you know, not only reading it, but then seeing it and watching it. I watched it 3-4 times in a row. Just, it's great to read something really wonderful, but then to see it put on screen and to be just as wonderful is, I mean, that's real magic, because, you know, things do get lost in translation. You know, reading a setup for a scene, you're like, okay, well, people aren't really gonna see this or whatever, but every single thing translated so well that I felt with everybody. I was in tears. We
finally got a nice sort of Alexis-Kate heart-to-heart last season. Were you finally glad that they had that? You know,
Kate and Alexis have such a funny relationship. You know, you can never forget that Alexis's #1 priority is her father. You know, she will always be protective of him, and she really likes Kate. She likes her a lot. And so what I loved about that heart-to-heart is that it did bring up that, and Alexis being like, I'm not mad at you. It's not really about you. I like you, but of course, you know, like a mother when their son is dating in a weird way, no one will be good enough. You know, there'll always be that thing. Mm-hmm. So I was really glad that they addressed that and got that out in the open. But I tell you, this season, the house gets crowded, I'll tell you that. And there's going to be some more stuff, especially in this first episode, which we just finished filming. There's some Alexis-Kate tension, if you will. Yeah, we have that nice heart-to-heart, and then it kind of, you know, we kind of forget about it. But it will come back and things will heal. But it's a tough relationship, you know.
Is it the result of the accident and all the fallout from that?
Yeah, kind of. You can't help but blame those around you when something traumatic happens. Especially, you know, we blame people who won't leave. If that makes sense, it's kind of like, you know, when you argue with your mother or your father, I hate you. You can say that because there's a comfortability, because you know they're always going to love you, if that makes sense. So that does start happening in our family.
What about Alexis's love life? Last season there was some backlash.
Yeah, that was such a funny thing. I really liked Pie. I thought people were really gonna enjoy that. But, you know, I told Andrew when we sat down at the beginning of the season, and of course he, you know, we're sitting down and I have my ideas, but he's been thinking about this, you know, for months. I just kind of said, I was like, can we not have another love interest for Alexis? Like, can we just kind of leave that alone? Like, I don't think we get the response that we were wanting to get with that, and I kind of like that. I like the people just like watching Alexis and like seeing her grow, and don't want her to have that. They do want her to stay unencumbered, maybe, and I actually like that better. It's more fun for me to play off of what my character is going through than opposed to what she's going through in a relationship, especially when things are already so complicated with her father and with Kate and even with, you know, Martha. I think it's more fun to watch them date and to watch Alexis just kind of, you know, than seeing her do it, because I don't think she's a very fun dater. I don't. I think she's a chess player. So it's, you know, she plants a flag and she moves on. It's not a romantic type thing for her, if that makes sense.